right, let's get a check now on the global economy. We have Inijo Mekwa with the details at this point of what's playing out, what's driving sentiment out there. How's it going?
A lot of things going on, Ladi. As usual, the U.S. Is very much in the midst of all of
involved.
it, in the mix, yes.
Right.
A whole lot of it, but I mean, I'll get to that in a bit. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Global News. We start from the UK, where British inflation and key underlying measure of price growth both unexpectedly held steady in September, according to official figures, offering some relief to Finance Minister Richard Reeves ahead of her November budget. The annual rate of consumer price inflation remained at 3.8% for the third month running. That's according to the National Statistics Office. Most economists had polled, and the Bank of England had expected it to rise to 4%. Inflation in the services sector remained at 4.7% in September, the same rate that it was in August, and below the forecast of 4.9%. British inflation will be the highest among the group of 7 economies in 2025 and 2026. This is the projection of the International Monetary Fund. They said that during the just concluded IMF, and that will be hampering the BOE's slow progress in cutting interest rates to help slow the economy. And a cyber attack on Jaguar Land Rover has cost an estimated £1.9 billion in financial losses across the United Kingdom, making it the most economically damaging cyber event in the history of the UK. This is according to Cyber Monitoring Centre, that's the CMC. The CMC categorized the incidents, which began in late August 2025, as a Category 3 systemic event on its 5-point scale. The attack forced JLR to shut down its systems and halt manufacturing operations at major UK plants, Hellwood and Wolverhampton, for approximately 5 weeks. The financial impact assessment is based on the JLR returning to full production by early January 2026. During the production shutdown, UK manufacturing output was reduced by nearly 5,000 vehicles per week, with each week resulting in a modeled loss of £108 million, according to JLR's UK operations. We move to the United States, where President Donald Trump's administration is preparing a new investigation into drug pricing practices among U.S. trading partners. The probe would examine whether the U.S. trading partners are underpaying for drugs, according to the report. And the investigation will be conducted under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, which gives the U.S. president authority to take action against foreign trade practices deemed unfair to American commerce. This move could potentially lay the groundwork for fresh tariffs again against trading partners, according to the report. China has overtaken the United States as Germany's largest trading partner in the first 8 months of 2025, regaining the top spot as higher tariffs weighed on German exports to the United States, according to preliminary data from the German Statistics Office. German imports and exports with China totaled 163.4 billion euros from January to August, while trade with the US amounted to 162.8 billion euros, according to calculations. The US was Germany's top trading partner in 2024, ending an 8-year streak for China. The shift came as Germany sought to reduce its reliance on China, with Berlin citing political differences and accusing Beijing of unfair practices. Trade dynamics shifted again this year, however, with Donald Trump's return to the White House and, of course, with renewed tariffs. Well, 6 months into Donald Trump's trade war, the resilience of Chinese exports is proving just how essential many of its products remain, even after U.S. levies of 55%. Every day, about $1 billion worth of goods is crossing the Pacific from China to the U.S., with the amount ticking up in September from August. Despite double-digit drops in the value of overall trade during the past half a year, some products have recently seen an increase from 2024, defying trade strains between Beijing and Washington. Still with the United States, that country and Qatar, the world's biggest producers of liquefied natural gas, they've jointly urged European Union member states to abandon a sustainability directive they say will affect the bloc's ability to import the fuel. In an open letter released, U.S. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright and Qatar's Energy Minister Saad Sharida Al-Kabi said that the EU and its member states must either repeal the corporate sustainability due to diligence directive or make sweeping changes that address their concerns. And reports indicate that India and the United States are close to finalizing a long-pending bilateral trade agreement that could slash tariffs on Indian exports to around 15 to 16% from the current 50%. Energy and agriculture are key areas of negotiation, with New Delhi likely to gradually scale down imports of Russian crude, which currently amounts to about 34% of India's oil purchases, in exchange for the lower duties on Indian exports. Well, the two sides are also discussing greater market access for non-genetically modified U.S. corn and soybean, while sensitive issues such as dairy remain unsolved, and meat also is involved. The agreement could provide tariff relief for India while giving Washington a new agricultural export partner as U.S.-China trade tension persists. And it's a new dawn in Japan. Their new Prime Minister, Sanae Takachi, is preparing an economic stimulus package that's likely to exceed last year's $92 billion. And it's to help households tackle inflation. Government sources have revealed this. And they said that the package of more than 13.9 trillion yen, that's about $92.19 billion, marks Takachi's first major economic initiative since the advocate of big fiscal spending. And it took office on Tuesday, reflecting her commitment to what she calls responsible, proactive fiscal policy. And it will be built around three main pillars, she says, which will be inflation, investments in growth industries, and national security. So we'll see how all of that go with the first female prime minister in Japan. Now, if you are, well, a beer drinker, this story will really interest you. Dutch brewer Heineken, they've warned that its 2025 beer sales would fall as macroeconomic challenges worsen, further downgrading its volume guidance after it was punished for a similar move a quarter ago. The world's #2 brewer and its rivals have been battling to restore lackluster volume growth for years, while brewers have largely been able to offset declines with price increases. Investors are increasingly focused on the amount of beer sold. Heineken's share slid more than 8% in July, when it warned that annual volumes would be broadly stable rather than grow. On Wednesday, it said that it expected volume to decline modestly in 2025.